Welcome to FEMA Grant Management Best Practices. We will explore the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program lifecycle and compare it to a fictitious game we're inventing called FEMA Quest. We humans enjoy the rich complexity of sports and games. We know that rules enhance the experience. Who hasn't yelled at a referee at least once? But how to manage FEMA grants seems just out of reach. It isn't. Join us for our FEMA Grant Management training videos and podcast and blogs. My name is Christina Moore. My team at Storm Petrel and I have responded to natural disasters since 2002 as experts in FEMA policy, management of grant funds, and safely guiding organizations to rebuild better. This series relates grant management to a fictitious board game called FEMA Quest. The process is not a game. As the manager of FEMA funds in a tiny town in Vermont, I had 7 different FEMA staff members assigned to help me. One followed another. Each came from a different region of this nation. One of the 7 got hauled away in handcuffs by federal agents. I've helped the city of New York immediately following Hurricane Sandy, and our team spent 18 months helping Puerto Rico after Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Our team and our tools have helped people across this nation. We are experts in FEMA grant management best practices. We are providing these materials to you, hoping that you can help your community and your organization survive this disaster and wisely execute the mission before you. If you appreciate this presentation, please share it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell. The United States federal government utilizes the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program to assist organizations and communities who provide services for the public good. Municipalities, volunteer fire and EMS agencies, nursing homes, public hospitals, community centers, sewers and water districts. FEMA does not provide training on how to manage FEMA grants. The money is not free. The rules we must follow are complex. The reward is plain. Our organizations keep the grant money. The punishment for failure is intense. Punishment may include prison, a felony record, and/or the loss of the grant funds. Human beings reject complexity. Give me the bottom line, just the bullet points. But we love storytelling, and we love interesting people in our stories, and we love plot twists, and we celebrate the twists that fate offers. We also love games, and games with rules. Open the Monopoly box, and many of us have the rules visible during play. Get in an argument, we die for the rules. In Scrabble, it isn't just any dictionary at hand, but the official. You must phrase your response as a question in Double Jeopardy or lose the money. We will watch a football match and argue with referees who can't hear us. We know those rules. In a game, you win best by following the rules. Breaking the rules has consequences, fines, penalties, and may result in a loss. So let's use the power of our amazing brains to view the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program lifecycle as a new game called FEMA Quest. Your mission, should you accept it, follow the trails on this terrain around and around. On each loop, you want to repay your team for money you've already spent. You'll want to recognize the various critters and characters hidden there. You will absolutely want to stay on the path and avoid jail and problems. There is no red square called jail here for 2 reasons. 1, it's used by another game. Second, there is no way back. You can't just roll doubles and walk away. Your battleship is sunk. The red card is serious stuff. You're not just a dead rook at the edge of the game board. But every gain you've made just disappeared. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to the map in FEMA Quest, and in doing so, I will tie it to the grant lifecycle. Our team has produced these materials because of COVID-19. We're offering guidance to those who are receiving FEMA emergency funds. These rules, this life cycle, hold true for most U.S. federally funded grants. We'll touch on a few of the adventures, and I'll introduce you to some of the people of the quest, good guys and bad guys. Here is the FEMA Quest map. It is a twisted, looping trail superimposed on terrain with hills and water and a few other obstacles. There is a starting gate, and there is an X very near that start. Looks like a racetrack, and you may be looping around and around and around. The first adventure you'll encounter is the multi-phased, contorted application process. There are little peaks here, and when you think you've summited, You'll only find a faux ami, a plateau, and a small dip, or correspondence from FEMA that informs you that the climb continues. On the other end, you'll find a gentle, easy slope that involves waiting and waiting. Entirely mixed messages will confuse you. Stick to the path, do your work, shuffle along with faith. The application process is not complete until you get the Certificate of Good, which is not called that. It is called the Form 9091. Some old-timers will say PW, or Project Worksheet. The first trail, the shortest trail, the simplest trail is called Small Trail. It goes around Small Lake. The small trail is the most attractive path. It is well paved, smooth, really doesn't have too many trolls on it or traps on it. The small trail around Small Lake corresponds to FEMA's small grant, or small PW, as you may hear it said. As of April 2020, FEMA defines a small grant as less than $130,000. You'll provide all of the necessary evidence upfront to FEMA or your state, and when they approve the grant, they pay the grant, and you're essentially done. Keep all of the paperwork you provided, and we'll talk about smalls in episode 9. Smalls fit in a very rigid framework. If you later discover another $50,000 in expenses, you're likely stuck with that cost. You're done in one. Come back for episode 9 and we'll explore the topic in greater detail. Episode 3 is about the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Lifecycle, defining the steps from grant application to closeout for emergency funds. While small projects, those under $130,000, step through an abbreviated process, grants valued at larger than $130,000 are called large. The definition of large and small shift with time. The concept remains the same. Large grants have a more formal life cycle and a duration that spans years. The starting date for grant awards may predate the disaster declaration. For this COVID-19 emergency funding, we're seeing starting dates as early as 20 January 2020, more than 60 days prior to the presidential declaration. While the span is unusual, it is common. Hurricane declarations often include the 2 to 3 days prior to landfall, thereby rewarding communities who prepared. Grants start with an application process, even the FEMA Public Assistance Program. We tend not to use the word application as such, but it exists. It's part of the early stages. The application phase asks you to provide the actual cost and anything completed and estimated cost for actions yet to do. And normally there is a drafted scope of work. With the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program, the finalized application is often referred to as a project worksheet, a legacy term referring to the days when they were literally Excel spreadsheets that describe FEMA-funded projects. The application is better referred to as a 9091, identifying the federal form used. Other grant programs use federal forms such as SF424. We'll explore the application process and eligibility in Episode 5. The map shows us labor-land loop. In this convoluted and hazard-filled region, we calculate and capture costs associated with our own labor force, our own equipment, and the materials that we have in inventory. FEMA calls this force account, as in force account labor and force account equipment and force account material. It involves calculating the hourly billing rates for your staff. An hourly rate FEMA calls fringe rate. There are reporting requirements and traps that most people fall into. We will guide you through labor-land loop to help you get reimbursed for your team's work. We'll then step into little money slalom. Little money are the small and routine purchases such as those done with credit cards, petty cash, and purchase orders. They are of a lower cash value and definitely less than $125,000. We will define and explore these in episodes 13 or 14 called Tempest Gems and Little Money. Contrary to popular belief, the FEMA Grants portal doesn't actually help you manage your disaster relief grants. In the next episode, we'll talk about what does. We'll explore the challenges of the Land of 11s and Real Money Loop. This terrain is well mapped with ample guideposts, and yet it is in the Land of 11s that most people get caught, trapped, and fail. Most procurement for grant-funded efforts must go through a competitive procurement process. There are 11 basic steps that'll generate at least 11 documents, so for each procurement you should have how many documents? Did you say 11? Okay. Our presentation will really not address the unicorn trail. Just know that it is possible to use federal grant funds to buy a unicorn. Federal procurement rules provide a path, and it takes specialization and guidance outside of our team's immediate efforts here. What is a unicorn? In this case, it is something rare and unusual. With respect to federal procurement-related topics, it includes sole source procurement, procurement of professional services. It is rough terrain and should be accepted as double black diamond tough. Traveler beware. We are providing you a copy of this map. While it looks like a game, it is a sincere means of helping you track through this process. Click the links below to download this map. Returning to the FEMA Quest game, the most satisfying element of this game is the reimbursement process. Yes, your first time through can be a bit interesting. Even if our guidance and your forms are perfect, the people at the other end may not be in alignment. It happens. Money is the real scorecard. Your team will have spent it, and you will want to get the best possible and legal reimbursement. We will guide you through the money please loop. There are other twists and turns throughout the adventure quest. Requesting changes to the scope or budget, submitting appeals for disputed unfavorable rulings, and just delays. And before we close this episode, we'll give you a quick introduction to the cast of characters. Some are good guys, and you'll want those on your team, and some are bad guys. Stay away from bad guys. We'll help you identify this cast with some game cards and names that make sense. You will definitely want to find a wizard and a miller. These are good guys. They should be your first recruits. A wizard takes ugly, complicated, messy digital data, or paper data, and turns it into something clean and pretty and useful. Their transformative process seems like magic to so many. I'm a wizard, and that's my gift. You also want a miller. A miller keeps their nose to the grind. They take raw materials, process it over and over to make a refined product in a nice, neat bundle or bags for FEMA. And we'll tell you about the trolls and the real evildoers and the accidental evildoers along the path. Your ultimate objective is to recover funds from FEMA and your state within legal bounds. You're going to spend money and complete missions during this disaster. You want to have FEMA funds to help make your organization whole again, or as close as possible. We'll show you the path and process by borrowing elements from a made-up game we named FEMA Quest. It identifies challenges, hazards, and rewards in a neat visual manner. The game relates to the life cycle of a FEMA grant. Did you find this helpful? Do you have questions? Please let me know in the comments below. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of upcoming episodes. There's a link for our map below. Please share this material with colleagues, post about us and our efforts on your favorite social media platform. Don't forget to grab the map to help you get started with FEMA Quest.